Okay, I just wanted to run through a quick real estate example for modelling rent. Really simple. We'll start off, we'll set up a time base every 3 months from beginning of this year. I use the function DPM. I just type in the function and the brackets and Excel tells me where's your input. So I just go Alt-I-F, that brings up the function wizard. So this, I'm just setting up my time base here. Copy that across. Give it a half sensible date format. Okay, so those are periods beginning on that date. So the first quarter starts on January 2015. And let's put in the function which is called rentgrow, which does a projecting rent where it starts off at a level, and after, when it comes to review, it steps up according to wherever the market rent is at that time. So if you like, there's a forecast purring alongside the model, which is the forecast of rents, and every, in the UK, 5 years the rent reviews to that market rent. So we're going to need to know when it starts. We're going to need when it stops, which is the first break or the expiry. So DPY, date plus years. We'll make it 5 years. No, there won't. I'm going to do reviews if I do that. Make it 15 years. So it finishes then, way off in the future. What else do we need? We need to know when the first, well, we need to know the starting rent. I'm very out of date with the rents, but I'm going to call it £60. What else do we need? Need a few things yet, actually. We're going to need the first review. Well, let's make that 5 years after the start, I suppose. So I use date plus years again from that start, and then 5 years. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to extend the time base along. So I've gone off screen now, but that's all right. Okay. Give him a sensible number format. Right, so what else do we need? We need the, I'll carry on down here actually. We need the initial rent. Oh, we've done the initial rent. Start rent. Right, we're going to need now the market forecast. Right, so the market rent we're going to call £65 or something, and we're going to apply a growth rate to that. Now we'll apply more than one growth rate because growth rate might not be constant, so we'll have a couple of growth rates. We'll have 2% to start with and then go to 3% because we're so optimistic, and those growth rates apply from certain dates. So we'll have the first one starting from the beginning, and then 3 years later we'll have the growth rate increasing. Okay, one more thing we need, how often this reviews. So as I say, in the UK it's every 5 years normally, so we'll every 6 months. That in theory, is all we need. So let's try putting the function in. So we're going to use the function rent grow. So I just type in the name, open close brackets, bang, it says it's an error. Alt-IF gives us the Excel function wizard, and we can do our stuff. So we have the time there, we have the base, which is 3 months, which we put in this cell here. We got the rent start there. Notice that I'm making these absolute references. That's because I'm going to copy the formula across, and I want the references to stay the same, obviously. The first break or expiry, i.e. the finish of the rent, is there. Actually, it's D6. Yeah. The first review is there. Scroll down to get the next one. The market rent is actually down here. Fine. The initial rent is here. Fine. The growth dates. These are the dates from which growth is applied. Again, I'm just typing F4 to make those absolute references. We don't want them to change at all when we start copying formulas around. And the growth rates, there we have it. So that's nice. We got a growth rate that actually changes. It's not the same growth rate. Oh, and the final thing we need is the review months. So every 5 years, this lease reviews to market. Okay, that's all we need. There's lots of other parameters we could have used, but we're not going to use any of them because we can get a sensible rent just out of this. Right, now, to start with, it just ticks along until the first review. Now, the first review is 2020, which will be somewhere up here. There we are. So that's when we first start to review, and then it stays the same for another 5 years, and then we run out of time. But if I copy all this lot across, it reviews again, off it goes, and if I carry it even further, it'll actually stop.